Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics 365 MVP. And today on Partner Talks, we're going to talk to Alex about Directions EMEA 2024. Alex, introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello, I'm Alex Vandereycken. I'm working for Scapta and xpr365, and I'm in the business for a little bit more than 20 years now. I started in 98 with Helios IT, that is also known by Drinkit. I think we were the first ISV embed, or one of the first ISV embeds for Microsoft at that time. And I remember also Directions in France. I think it was 2004, where I was also one of the visitors, maybe with 400 people or something.
So, a couple of weeks ago, we were in Vienna and there was like 3,200 people. So I've got to say, your group has done a fantastic job rolling this community in Europe and globally. So why don't we talk a little bit about your history with Directions?
I think I visited most of them over the years, let's say the last 20 years. And for me, it's always about learning and sharing knowledge with peer companies and connecting, getting inspired. I think that's the most important thing for me to join in those days in whatever city they organize it.
Okay. And what's your role now with the conference?
Yeah, as one of the business owners, I look, of course, ahead. I'm trying to see for what's new, where to invest, and where not to invest. I think that's the most important thing for me as a business owner.
Mhm. And when we look at Directions and the energy behind it, because it's basically a Business Central conference. And, going into it, I wasn't sure, being a CRM guy, I wasn't sure, been around Business Central, been to Directions in the United States, wasn't sure what I was going to get into. But I got to tell you, from the keynote on, we could really tell there was an energy, and Microsoft was very, very involved. And to hear them talk about their AI investments in Business Central was very impressive.
Yeah, completely agree with that one. That's one of my lists is that to understand better and investigate what, for example, AI agents can deliver to our customers, and where do we have to build up knowledge or IP to make that happen.
And so I think going forward, we saw some big growth last year in Business Central. I don't think it's going to slow down. I think it's going to keep going for Microsoft.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look now and you look back to Business Central, it has a really, really good vibe inside Microsoft and also in the partner network. It feels more and more that it will be the standard besides M365 or Office 365, how you can call it.
And I think the way they're developing AI within the ERP product is going to be very how do we say, it's going to be, I think, proactive and give them a very good platform to really show off the power of what they can do with AI.
Yeah, and it's also already also known in the market, Rick, because if I look to a customer who left us as a customer for implementing SAP, they stopped the project on 75%, and we are now busy with the upgrade to Business Central, thanks to the AI message and the possibilities inside the solution. So the message is already also on the customer side. I think that's also important that they see the value that will be there.
And I think, for partners like yourself that have established install base, there's going to be a lot of work over the next few years moving people from, the NAV platform onto the current cloud products.
Yeah, we already did more than 100. We already have 100 SaaS customers locally. So we did already a lot of migrations or new projects, of course, in SaaS. And that's also our strategy. We want to do SaaS focus. We don't do new on-prem. That's for somebody else. And we are also really app focused. So if there is an app, like for example, a customer needs empty goods, for example, we will look into App Source and we will look up to an empty goods app. And if it fulfills the functionality or the requirements of the customer, we will choose that instead of building it. And that's a philosophy. That's a philosophy from the beginning, since we decided in 2019 to go into SaaS. Yeah.
And I've got to hand it to the Business Central community. They really embrace ISVs. Like at the conference, there must have been 100 vendors there showing their products. And every time there was a break or during lunch or evening receptions, those booths were packed and conversations happening the whole time.
Yeah. That's also what we did there, Rick, because we installed a few years ago the Shopify connected to Microsoft. And thanks to that connection, BigCommerce reached out to us and asked us to develop the same. So we have now launched on Directions in Vienna, the BigCommerce connector for Business Central. So it's a different game than Shopify. Shopify is more a B2C platform getting into B2B. BigCommerce is more a B2B platform, including B2C. So, and that's what we launched during the Directions in Vienna.
Okay, excellent. I'll make sure I'll put the link to that in the show notes. So why do you think the Business Central community has become so strong? And how, what's really causing this energy around Directions?
I think you have to go back those 20 years when it was Navision. And I think it's all about passionate people being busy with technology. And during the last years, also Microsoft has invested a lot in Business Central. The guys in Denmark from the product team did a great job bringing that solution to a full SaaS ready solution with all integrations from Teams, Office, you can call it. It's Intuit, it's scalable. So the base is still there from the Navision old stack, but the technology has evolved into a full SaaS ready product. Integrated and secured on the Azure platform. And there is competition. There will always be competition, but it will be tough to get this standing. And certainly with the speed Microsoft is taking on AI, competition will have it difficult. I see local ERPs will disappear, to my opinion.
And you may be right there. So I'm going to have to say that any partners that are not involved with Business Central or Business Central partners that haven't really dug deep into what's going on with Microsoft and AI on that product need to get up to speed very quickly, because I think it's going to be extremely important going forward. And it's going to be incredible growth for Business Central and for Directions and their partner ecosystem.
Sure, for sure. And I already also look forward to next year and Poland. There's the next meeting in Poznan. It has been, I think, 10 years ago now they've been there. Yeah, it will be overwhelming in numbers, to my opinion, for such a small city.
And as you said earlier, before in our pre-interview, people should register early for that one, because it's going to be a busy conference. And I was in Poland for an extreme CRM event, I think around 2016. And I got to say, it's one fantastic place to go for a conference. So I'm looking forward to Directions EMEA 2025 and watching the growth of Business Central next year.
Very good. Me too.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Alex. I'm sure we'll be talking in the future more about, some of the things that you're building out there and what's going on with the Business Central community.
Very good. Thanks. Thanks, Rick.
Okay. Bye for now.
Cheers.